Hello everyone and happy new week and Wednesday. So usually this podcast or whatever you call it right now, free training, live training because I still cannot go live on Facebook. It's going to be usually on Wednesdays or Friday. So if you're watching the replay, comment hashtag replay at the comment section below, right? Because I come back and read every single message. So if you've ever said, I eat lots of protein, um, you know, this is for you. Because today's training might completely change. Today's training will completely change how you think about protein. Basically, this is about the 5 protein mistakes sabotaging your fat loss and fitness goals, right? So, let me be brutally honest for a second. I believe protein has become one of the most misunderstood topics in fat loss, right? This is recorded? Okay. Um, Not because people don't know they should eat it, everybody already knows that by now, right? And it's like everywhere, right? It's because women think, oh, I eat protein, cool, but how much? When? How often? Is it enough? Is it spread throughout your day? Are you actually hitting the amount your body needs? Or are you simply eating foods that just contain protein? Because those are very different things. And honestly, this is why I see so many women keep on spinning their wheels, right? They're eating healthy, they're exercising, they're drinking water, they're doing their best to prioritize protein, yet their energy still crashes, maybe they may be bloated, their hunger is all over the place unless they're in a cut. And their workouts is okay, and their body isn't looking leaner, and they're wondering, what the hell am I still missing? So here's what I see as a coach. It's not because they're lazy or they don't care or that they need more discipline. It's because they're incredibly consistent with a strategy that's missing a few important details. And protein is one of the biggest ones, right? So today I'm walking you through the 5 biggest protein mistakes I see women making. And trust me, some of this might surprise you if you haven't heard me talk about them yet. So, oh, my voice is better today. That is amazing. So, to those who don't know me, I help high achieving women over 35 stop starting over and finally build a leaner, stronger, more confident body that actually lasts. And not through another crash diet, not through eating less forever, and not through living on salads, but through my base method. Because most women don't need more motivation. They need clarity, they need precision, and they need to know exactly what their body needs based on the phase they're currently in. Because your body doesn't need the same strategy forever, and that's why so many women feel stuck, right? And maybe this sounds familiar. You make healthy choices, you buy the Greek yogurt, you throw chicken on your salad, you order the grilled option at restaurants, you even bought the expensive protein powder because Instagram told you to. Yet you're still starving by 3 p.m. Maybe you're reaching into the pantry after dinner. Your workouts feel meh, you don't feel that tone, you're not recovering very well, you're not getting stronger, the scale isn't really moving, or maybe it moves, but your body doesn't actually look much different. And that's frustrating, right? Because you're putting in effort and you deserve results that actually reflect the effort. The truth is, it isn't that protein doesn't work. It's that most women are accidentally doing protein backwards. So, let's fix that. Mistake number 1, you're not eating enough protein at breakfast. Hands up, who skips breakfast or who just has coffee, right? Maybe a banana, maybe a toast, maybe just Nutella on your toast, maybe cereal, right? And then they tell themselves, I'll make up for it later. Girl, your breakfast is either setting you up or making the rest of your day harder than it needs to be. Ever heard that your cravings and your binge already starts with your breakfast? Um, and I've also had a client who because her sister's a doctor, she struggles with binge eat. She struggled with binge eating, right? And her sister told her to do intermittent fasting. That's a recipe for disaster, right? But because her sister's a doctor, okay, I could not say no to that. Yeah, because I'm not a doctor yet, right? Um, Maybe eventually I can. Yeah, I don't know. Um, anyway, so I'm not saying breakfast is magical. I'm saying protein early in the day and actually fueling yourself well than just an egg or eating a cereal without any protein makes hitting wait, yeah. I'm saying protein early in the day makes hitting your daily target so much easier, right? Think about it. If your goal is around 140 grams of protein, for example, and breakfast gives you 10 grams, now you have to somehow squeeze another 130 grams into the rest of your day. That's where dinner becomes 60 grams. A protein shake, maybe a protein bar, Greek yogurt before bed, and suddenly you're frozen protein instead of naturally eating it throughout the day. That's why I would much rather see you eat 30 to 40 grams at breakfast, 30 to 40 at lunch, 30 to 40 at dinner, right? And then one snack, maybe two snacks, right? That way it's more simple, balanced, no stress, and no stuffing yourself at night because you're trying to catch up. How do I pause this? Pause. So here's something I teach every single client. Protein is your anchor. Every meal starts there. Don't start with your breakfast with just an egg or two eggs or a cereal with no protein, right? Um, yeah, protein is your anchor. Every meal starts there. But because protein is usually the nutrient women undereat, right? And overeat, mostly on carbs and fats, right? Um, so instead of asking what am I having for breakfast, ask what is my protein first, right? You can have eggs plus egg whites, Greek yogurt, cottage cheese, turkey sausage, or even chicken sausage, chicken leftovers, protein smoothie. You can even have whatever you had at dinner, right? Whatever fits your lifestyle. Protein first, everything else gets built around it. Um, and honestly, when women start doing just this, their energy always improves, their cravings often improve, and hitting their protein goals suddenly becomes way easier. Mistake number two, thinking you're eating more protein than you actually are. That used to be me. Wait, no, I was overeating protein. I was bulking hard. Yeah. I see every single week, and someone tells me I eat lots of protein. Amazing. Let's look at your breakfast. Two eggs. That's around 12 grams, right? Lunch, a salad with a little chicken sprinkled on top. Maybe that's like 10 to 15 grams. Dinner, some salmon, maybe 25 grams. Snack, a handful of almonds. They think that's protein, but almonds are mostly fat. Yes, they contain some protein, but they're not a high protein food. But by the end of the day, they're at maybe 60 to 70 grams when they actually needed closer to 130 or 140, right? That's an example for someone, right? Let's say someone is 130 or 140. Everyone has different protein needs, right? See the problem? They're not failing. They are simply underestimating. And honestly, you can optimize what you're not measuring. That's why I love tracking, right? Not because awareness changes everything. And most women are shocked when they realize how much protein they're actually eating. So don't ask, did I eat protein today? Ask yourself, did every meal have a protein anchor? Meaning a real serving. Not just a sprinkle, a bite, or whatever happened to be in the meal, a proper serving. And if you don't do macros, there's also portions with your hands or measuring cups. If you want to do a free fat loss and or fitness metabolism assessment to know your actual portions, then send me a message. It's free, yes, no strings attached. So a proper serving is like 5 to 6 ounces of cooked chicken, a full cup of Greek yogurt, um, lean turkey, fish, shrimp, cottage cheese, tofu, and tempeh, seitan if you're vegetarian or vegan, right? Those are protein anchors, not garnish. Um, And then next, I'm going to cover the mistake almost everyone makes at dinner, why protein bars are probably being overused, and the biggest protein mistake I think is holding women back the most. Mistake number three, saving most of your protein for dinner. Okay, like I said before, this is very common, right? And honestly, I used to do this. I know some people who used to do this, right? Maybe you have coffee for breakfast, a light lunch, maybe a yogurt, maybe a salad, and dinner rolls around, and suddenly you're trying to eat 8 ounces of chicken, Greek yogurt, a protein shake, and maybe even a protein bar before bed because you're desperately want to hit your protein goal, right? Sounds familiar? Here's the problem. Your body doesn't have a giant storage tank where it saves today's protein for tomorrow. Protein is different from carbs and fat. Your muscles are constantly repairing, rebuilding, and adapting, especially if you are strength training, which is a must. That's why your body benefits from getting protein consistently throughout the day instead of trying to cram it all in one meal. So think about it this way. Imagine watering a plant. Would you rather give it a little water consistently, like every day, or dump 7 days worth of water on it Sunday night? Exactly. Your muscles work similarly. Consistent fuel, repair, support, not one giant protein feast before bed because you're trying to catch up. And one thing I tell every client is don't chase your protein goal at night. Set yourself up to win before noon. Because if you've already eaten 60 to 80 grams by lunchtime, the rest of your day feels effortless. But if you're sitting at 15 grams by lunch, everything feels like work. This is exactly why I say protein isn't just about how much, it's also how you eat it. So instead of this, like coffee for breakfast, lunch is a tiny salad, dinner is 70 grams of protein, try this. Breakfast 35 grams, lunch 35 grams, maybe a snack for 25 grams, and dinner is 35 grams. Now your body has been fueled all day. Your hunger is usually easier to manage, your workouts are so much better, and hitting your goal doesn't require force feeding yourself chicken at 9 p.m. um, Mistake number four, treating protein bars and shakes like meals. They're more for snacks, they're not replacement meals at all, okay? Um because and protein bars have become candy bars with better marketing, right? Seriously though, I'm not anti protein powder. I take one every day for my snack, with other things too, right? And many of my clients use protein powder, and I also suggest using protein powder unless you really don't want to. You can just eat actual food. But notice what I just called it, protein powder. Not breakfast, not lunch, not dinner. It is called a supplement for a reason, right? Its job is to supplement, not replace real food. And one of the biggest mistakes I see is women building their entire day around convenience foods. Protein shakes, protein cookie, protein chips, which is disgusting. Okay, I don't like the Quest ones. Protein bar, protein cereal, protein pudding. Everything says high protein, but that doesn't automatically make it nutritious because real food gives you something those processed products usually can't, right? Which is volume, micronutrients, which is vitamins and minerals, fiber, satiety, chewing, which actually burns calories, satisfaction, and that matters, right? And here's the rule I personally live by always real food first, supplements second. If you're rushing between meetings, yeah, grab a shake. Always make a shake beforehand, right? If you're traveling, for sure eat the protein bar. Eat the what do you call it? Those jerky sticks. Yeah. If you're running late, perfect. That's what they're for. But that's why you also should prep your food, right? You're not just relying on those. A protein shake just by itself, I'm hungry again after like 30 minutes, 1 hour, right? They're insurance. They're your insurance, but they're not your nutrition strategy. And one chicken breast will usually keep you fuller much longer than drinking the same amount of protein. Why? Because you're chewing, and chewing burns calories. Digesting, eating an actual meal. Yeah, because you're chewing, digesting, eating an actual meal, feeling satisfied, that's why whenever possible, eat your protein. Don't just drink it. Mistake number 5, saying I eat enough protein, but having absolutely no idea what enough actually means. This is one of the biggest mistakes of all because I hear it all the time when people tell me to, right? I think I eat enough, I eat lots, I prioritize protein, amazing. Compared to what? What's your target? And then this silence. Right? Because the reality is this, you cannot optimize something that you've never actually measured. And you don't have to start with macros, you can start with portion control, your hands, or measuring cups, right? That's why my free fat loss and or fitness metabolism assessment is amazing for you. For example, imagine hiring a financial advisor and saying, I think I make enough money. Okay, how much? I don't know. You'll never do that, right? You'll never do that. So why are we doing that with our nutrition? And the truth is most women don't have a protein problem, they have a precision problem. They're guessing, eyeballing, hoping, assuming instead of knowing. And to get the results you want, you don't build results by guessing, you build results through clarity, precision. Right? And one of the first things I help every client figure out is their number. Not Instagram number, right? Their number, their protein target number. Because your protein target depends on things like your goal, your body size, your training, your current phase, whether you're cutting, maintaining, building muscle, recovering. And this is exactly why one size fits all advice keep women stuck. So as a general guideline, I usually recommend around 0.8 to 1 gram of protein per pound of your goal body weight. Then divide that across 3 or 4 meals. Notice I said goal body weight, not necessarily your current body weight. And remember, that's just a starting point, not a universal law. Every woman is different. And also notice something, none of these mistakes were about working harder, being more disciplined, or trying harder. They were about doing the right things with more precision, and honestly that describes fat loss as a whole. Because most women don't need another challenge, another detox, or another eat clean month, right? Which actually makes you bloated. They need clarity. Because when you know exactly what your body needs, everything starts feeling simpler. Not easier because you're doing less, easier because you're no longer wasting effort on the wrong things. So now that you know the 5 biggest protein mistakes, I'm going to show you what I eat, my favorite protein sources, how to build a high protein meal without overthinking it, and a few bonus tips that have helped my clients finally look leaner and more toned and lose pounds without feeling like they're living in the kitchen. Because eating enough protein shouldn't feel complicated, it should become second nature, right? The point of this is to make it part of your freaking life. So, what should you actually eat? And now you might be thinking, okay, Pam, I get it. I need more protein. I need to spread it throughout the day. I need to stop guessing. But what does that actually look like? Great question. Because here's another mistake I see. Women make protein way harder than it needs to be. They're constantly searching Pinterest, watching TikTok, looking for high protein recipes. Meanwhile, the leanest, strongest women I know usually eat pretty simple. Right? They master the basics and then they repeat them, right? Because consistency beats creativity every single time. So, when I'm building meals or helping clients, these are the foods we build around first. Lean protein, right? These are amazing because you get a lot of protein without a lot of extra calories or more fat, right? Think chicken breast, turkey breast, shrimp, white fish, some salmon has less fat too, depends where you buy it and the packaging, right? Tuna, egg whites, 0% Greek yogurt, 0% cottage cheese, lean ground turkey, pork tenderloin. Actually, pork is less fat than beef. Scallops. Did I say shrimp? Yeah, shrimp, right? Tofu. Yeah, and these are absolute protein powerhouses. Higher fat proteins are also fantastic. They just come with a little more fat, right? And if you're tracking macros, you will know. Such as whole eggs, some salmon, right? Chicken thighs, lean steak. Okay, steak again, it doesn't have as much fat as beef, surprisingly. Ground beef, full fat Greek yogurt, more fat cottage cheese, lamb. This absolutely still fit into fat loss. They're not bad. You just want to account for the extra fat because fat is higher in calories than protein. Again, nothing is off limits. It's about building meals intentionally. So when I have those higher fat protein, I just have less of it, right? And have more of the leaner protein sources, right? So here's the easiest way to build every meal. I call this the protein anchor. Every single meal starts with one question. Where is my protein? Not where are my carbs, not how many calories. Protein first. Always. Because when protein is in place, everything else becomes easier. Then add vegetables. And then add carbs based on your goals and activity. And if you know your actual carbs, then that's awesome. Man, awesome, right? Add healthy fats, right? And that's done. No overthinking, no food rules, no complicated recipes. Just repeat. And this is something I teach inside my base method. Most women build meals backwards. They make pasta and wonder where the protein goes. They make cereal and wonder why they're starving. Right, just cereal by itself. Or toast even. And then realize there's only 6 grams of protein there. So flip it. Ask yourself, what protein am I eating? Then build the rest. That one shift alone changes everything. So what I hope you take away from this is protein isn't magic. It's not the secret. It's not why women succeed, right? Precision is. Because the women who get incredible results are not trying harder. They're simply more intentional. They know their numbers. They know their goals. They know their targets. They understand portions or even macros, right? They build meals around protein, they fuel the workouts, and they repeat that over and over and over again. It isn't sexy, it's not flashy, but it works. So protein does not exist in isolation. If you're eating enough protein but sleeping 5 hours, if you're not eating enough protein but sleeping 5 hours, never strength training, living in a huge calorie deficit, constantly stressed, skipping meals, doing random workouts, guess what? Protein cannot fix that. And that's exactly why. I don't just coach protein and just give you a meal plan, and just give you a workout plan. I coach people your whole life, right? And if you've worked with me before, you know that. Because your body does not work in isolated pieces. Everything works together, right? Your workouts, your nutrition, your recovery, your stress, your lifestyle, everything that's going on in your life, your current phase. That's why 2 women can eat the same exact amount of protein and get completely different results. Because protein isn't the only variable. Your strategy matters as well. And this is why I created the base method, because every single week I meet women who tell me I've tried eating more protein, I've tried tracking, I've tried macros, I do this workouts, I've tried keto, fasting, Weight Watchers, everything. Maybe I've tried everything. And honestly, most of the time they don't need more information. They need someone to look at the entire picture, because maybe protein isn't the bottleneck. Maybe you're eating enough, but you're still in the wrong calorie intake. Maybe your training is not progressing. Maybe you've been dieting for too long. Maybe your recovery sucks. Maybe your mindset sucks. And maybe you're trying to build muscle while eating like a bird. Maybe you're doing everything right, but for the wrong phase. And that is what keeps women stuck. Not a lack of effort, but a lack of strategy. So, if you're serious about changing your body, stop asking, what food should I cut? What supplement should I buy? What workout burns the most calories? Instead, ask, what does my body actually need right now? Because that's the question that changes everything. So here's your homework. Tomorrow morning, before you eat breakfast, ask yourself, where's my protein anchor? Then look at lunch and ask yourself, where's my protein anchor again? Same as for dinner. Don't try to fix all 5 mistakes today. Just start there. Because remember, the big transformations aren't built through giant overhauls. They're built through small tweaks, done consistently. So let's quickly recap today's 5 mistakes. Number 1, not eating enough protein at breakfast. Number 2, thinking you're eating more protein than you actually are. Number 3, saving all your protein for dinner. Number 4, treating protein bars and shakes like your main source of protein. And number 5, having absolutely no idea what your protein target is. If you fix those 5 things, you're already ahead of most people wanting to work on their fat loss and their fitness goals. Now, if you're listening to this and thinking, honestly, Pam, I already eat pretty healthy, I already work out, I'm already trying to prioritize protein, but your body still isn't changing the way you thought it would, or you want the scale to move a bit more faster, I want you to hear this. It might not be protein, it might be something else entirely. Because, like I said, protein is only one piece of the puzzle. That's exactly why I offer my free fat loss and or fitness metabolism assessment. Basically, it's a strategy session. We'll look at your current nutrition, workouts, lifestyle, goals, and most importantly, we'll identify what's actually keeping you stuck, because once you know the real bottleneck, you stop guessing, you stop spinning your wheels, and you finally have a clear game plan. More about it. Basically, this free fat loss and or fitness metabolism assessment is about helping you figure out what's actually keeping you stuck and giving you a simple game plan moving forward. Or if you feel like your progress is stalled, or you're doing all the right things but not really seeing results, or you just want clarity on what to do to actually move forward, this free fat loss and or fitness metabolism assessment can help with that. After you fill out the quick form, I'll either send you back a personalized video, which is like less than 10 minutes, or we can hop on a quick 15 to 20 minute call, which is free again since it's part of it, no strings attached, and map things out together. And I can even create you a realistic game plan on how you're going to reach your goals in 30 days or 60 days or even 90 days or even 6 months. So if this sounds like something you need, comment assessment below or DM me, and we'll figure out exactly what phase your body is in, so you can lose like 10 to 30 pounds in the next 6 months or even more, and help you make your life even better, not just lose fat and reach your fitness goals, right? Because I believe that when you lose fat and reach your fitness goals, your life improves for the better, right? Because you deserve more than another generic meal plan. And you deserve a strategy that's built for you. So, yeah, that's it for now, and I'll see you on the next training. Bye!